You put that music in there?
I did not. We got different music.
Oh, they did.
Somebody did it.
Well, let's see. We're both intelligent. Only you and I have access. You ain't do it. I ain't do it. So that means they did it.
Somebody did it. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us. I hope people out there. Um, Real Fellas Talk Sports. Oh
Oh,
man,
this is the same music that's on Real Fellas Talk Sports.
I'm sorry. The sports doctor's in. No, that was a countdown. It's a different music.
I'm saying, if that's the music that's gonna come on,
No.
how do you know? How do you know?
I never heard it before.
How do you know it? We never heard that one before. Let's get to the sports. We'll talk about it after this.
That's what I would suggest. NBA. Hey, I know it's a team that you're not too fond of, and you might have good reason. New York Knicks. They are 0-7 against the top tier of the NBA, like the Celtics, Cavs, and Thunder. Also, the Cavs twice called 0-2 against the Cavs, 0-2 against the Celtics, and 0-1 against the Thunder. Is that team overrated? What do you think about the Knicks?
They played great last year. Even last year, they were overrated. But to answer your question, we're not talking about last year. We're talking about today. Yes, they are highly overrated.
What is their problem?
Don't have a center. Could use another outside shooter if possible, if they could get another one from somewhere. And they don't have a center. They don't have a center.
You don't think Cavs is a center?
Cartwright's not a center. No.
Okay.
He's a big forward. He's a big forward. We all know size ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He's 7 feet. He's 7 feet tall. Does he play like a center? Does the Knicks? Let me ask you this: does the Knicks defense seem to be more stout this year than last year?
No. One thing they had last year was a two big men in the middle that they could alternate. And now, yeah, I guess Mitchell's been out. Well, Mitchell was out a lot last year too, for that matter.
Mitchell, he's nothing. So I don't even know why they even talk about him.
He's nothing.
He's nothing. He ain't nothing. He'll grab a bam.
Well, I think he has.
He'll foul you.
What you seem to be getting at was that there's a lack of inside presence because you're saying that I guess Cat isn't there, which some people think is the case. They think Cat and Brunson are really the weak links on defense. Unfortunately for the Knicks, those are their two most prolific offensive scorers. So,
and Brunson, no matter what he does, he can't be never considered a weak link. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he scores. Even if he's inconsistent like most left-handed are and score 40 for 6 games and just score 7 the next, he's never a weak link for the Knicks.
Defensively, he and Cat have problems. Offensively, they both score. But when you can't stop guard on the perimeter or inside, you got a problem.
One day we're gonna take time. We're gonna do an episode and look at everybody because you and I always disagree with this. You see the thing. There are more people who attempt to play defense than don't, and I think the opposite. I don't think there's hardly anybody in the NBA that can check anybody. So when you say weak link on defense, I got a problem with that.
Well, I think we definitely disagree because I'll take a team like Oklahoma City where I think almost everybody on their team plays D well. The one weak guy they had was the guy I think his name was Giddey, and they ended up trading him for Caruso to Chicago.
Well, every time I talk, sorry to be interrupting. Every time I watch the games and the announcers, I have no idea they must be getting paid well. They try to make you think this guy Lou Dort is like a defensive ace of the league and all that. And every time I see him playing against somebody, he's getting punished. So I don't know about that. Everybody on the team can play defense. He's supposed to be the best defensive player on the team. Let's do a small sample of the next couple of games when he plays a big guard.
Well, he was primary responsibility for Anthony Edwards the last 2 games. On Sunday, Anthony Edwards got, what did he get? 29 points. So he's had a good day scoring. Yesterday, Anthony Edwards had 17. I mean, that's about as tough a matchup as you can get. Matter of fact, Anthony Edwards ended up being on the bench because he was so ineffective against him. Got Robert Woods out there. What's up, Robert? How you doing?
Hey, Rob, what's going on, brother? Let's do a small sample size from this show today. The next, say, 5 games, I'm gonna be.
Okay.
I'll make you wary of. See who he played and see the numbers. Everybody can have a bad day defensively.
I think he's a good defensive player. I don't think anybody can really stop a superstar consistently. But I think Oklahoma City's team defense is real good. What's up, Richard? How you doing?
Hey, Richard Turner, what's going on? All right.
And there's some people that offer no resistance. Say what?
Rich was supposed to be going somewhere today. Maybe he's back already. Supposed to take a school somewhere.
Yeah, I saw he posted something. I can't remember what it was this morning.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
What about the Celtics? You think they're for real?
I mean, no matter how much I have disdain for them, if I sat here and told you that they're not for real, if you look at their record, Hopper's Ferry.
Yeah.
If I told you that the Celtics are not for real, then people would be wondering why I'm even on this show, or why I even say I don't have any knowledge in sports. I mean, they killing people. I hate them. But to answer your question, yes, the Celtics are for real. I could have just said that instead of said all the other stuff I said. I could have.
I asked you, did you like them or something like that, right?
No, I know you didn't ask me just I like them. I don't like anything about Boston. Period.
Okay.
Most racist town in the country, as far as I'm concerned. And I haven't been to every town in the country to make that statement, but I'll still say the most racist town in the country. So I don't like anything to have anything to do with it.
Okay. But I was really just speaking about the Celtics, the basketball team.
No, I don't like them.
Okay. And they were the first team to start 5 black players. They were the first team to have black coaches. So they seem to be okay.
You've been all over the country. We've been all over the country.
Yeah.
If you don't think that Boston's one of the most racist cities, then I'm gonna go by what you say because you've been to more cities than
Again, I'm talking about the Celtics.
No, I understand that.
I've never had any problems in Boston, but just because I didn't have any problems doesn't mean anything.
Right. Well, we talking sports anyway, so I didn't even need to go into that area.
That's what I'm just talking about the Celtics. Yeah, I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you by any chance see Memphis against Cleveland? That was another good game Sunday. Pretty cool. I think Cleveland won by about 6 or 7.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell threw in 33. And their other guard, Cleveland's other guard didn't even play. Garland didn't even play. Ja Morant got 21. Cleveland, are they for real?
Yes. I hate them too, but yes. The Cleveland Cavaliers are good, yes. They are for real. They're a basketball team.
How you doing, Phyllis? How are you?
Phyllis, what's going on?
Phyllis is from Massachusetts. I like her. She's pretty cool.
Okay.
Now Cleveland looks good. So, do you think Cleveland and Boston can get to the finals in the East? Can any other teams beat them? Do you think any other teams will beat them?
Possibly Milwaukee can slip in there if some last minute miracles happen, but I don't like to discount Milwaukee. It's hard to discount a team that has Giannis and
Dame.
But
yeah,
I can't put my finger on it. It's just something about them I'm not really sure about Milwaukee. But to answer the question again, Milwaukee could slip in and be in the finals.
They're my dark horse too. I don't think everyone's talking about teams jockeying, trying not to play Boston, and rather face Cleveland, even though I don't know that's that great a deal either. But I don't think either one of those teams really will relish the idea of going against Giannis, especially if Giannis is healthy. It's funny. Milwaukee has had I think their window, because Giannis is 30 now. Of course, Dame is probably is in his mid-30s. I think they only have a couple of more years that they can really pull this off. And you know what happened? They won 1 year. The last 2 years, Giannis has gotten hurt either at the end of the season or in the playoffs, and they haven't been able to advance. So I think they need to worry about staying healthy. And if they can stay healthy, Kuzma might be enough to get them over the hump, but they haven't quite got it together. So it's a big question mark there. Do you think anyone else in the East can be competitive with them? Indiana?
Who's Milwaukee's coach right now?
I think it's coach right now.
So Doc Rivers don't coach anywhere right now, right?
That's who it is. Doc
It's
Rivers.
still Doc Rivers?
Yeah.
Oh no, that changed my answer. No, Milwaukee can't do anything.
Because of Doc Rivers?
Yeah. I gotta take this call from me. It's an emergency line.
Anybody else in the East that you think has any shot at it, or you think it's definitely between those two teams there? Indiana?
The East is horrible. No, Indiana's nothing. The East is horrible. They only have two teams.
Well, let's look at the West. The other night, Luka had a game. I think he got about 37 points for the Lakers. Who did they play? Gosh, I can't even remember who they played. But he threw in 37 points. Do you think Los Angeles has a shot to make some noise out west?
No, the Clippers or the Lakers?
Lakers.
No, the Lakers don't have enough size.
Hello?
Yeah.
What about?
What you doing to see if you got me.
You wanna call or something, man?
Yes, Maria called me. I'm doing the show. I'll be over at 8.
You what?
I'm doing the show. I'll be over at 8.
Oh, well, never mind. I'll be home by then.
Okay.
Bye.
Sorry, viewers. I know it's very unprofessional, but that was my wife calling, and I had to take that call whenever she calls. I'm sorry.
Hey man, long as Mama's happy, you gotta be happy.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey Lauren, how you doing?
Hey, Lauren, we're going out for you and your sister's birthday within the next week, whenever you guys are available.
I think he meant that in the form of a question, Lauren.
No, I'm telling you, we're taking her out. We're not always asking nobody nothing, Larry. You know that. The Thunder. What about the Thunder?
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't even asked a question about them yet.
We'll get to them. The Thunder's the best team in the NBA right now.
Is that right?
Yes.
Anybody in the West? Can anybody in the West go after them?
No. Maybe. No. Can't beat them. They got Holmgren, and they got big men. They have perimeter men. They got everything. They really need a point guard, even though they don't really need a point guard, because Shai Gilgeous can shoot, dribble, do everything. He can handle all that.
He seems to handle that.
Yeah. They're the best team in the NBA.
You know, the thing I think about teams, as far as the playoffs, I think they got to kind of take a whipping or something and kind of grow, because they're just inexperienced. I think that happened to them last year, because they won the West last year, but they look very, very good now. If they stay healthy, I like their odds against anybody. But what do you think about Denver? They got a pretty decent team.
I don't think much about Denver. I can't depend on Murray, their two guards. He can fire you up, but the only time he only excels when he plays against the Lakers.
Well, I think he's played pretty good in the playoffs. You know, he's not one of the guys that makes all-star or anything like that.
Sports doctor has a feeling this is going to be another one of the times, like it has been the last 3 years, where either he's going to play not up to his potential or he's going to get hurt. He's not going to be a factor in the playoffs. That's just my feeling.
Didn't they win it like 2 years ago?
They probably did. What I got to do with this year?
Okay. Well, I think I don't know. I wouldn't underestimate him. Actually, and the Joker's always good.
Do you
What about
attribute last night's performance to the Joker just being off, or do you attribute it to the defense that Los Angeles played last night?
I think it was the defense. Joker only took 7 shots.
Then that's unheard of.
Yeah, they were doubling him and trying to get him off the ball, even though he still made some nice passes and things like that. I think it was a one-off. I don't think they can do that to them every night, you know.
Right.
But no, I look for Denver to be competitive. That's what I think is going to be the biggest challenge for
Right.
Oklahoma in the West.
Well, we switched subjects before you were able to address the situation. Do you think that the Los Angeles Lakers can do some damage in?
I can see them getting to the. I can see them winning a series. I look at them to finish about 4th, and I think they'll advance to the second round. Now, when they get in that round, if they have to play Denver or Oklahoma City, I think they're in trouble. For the reason you said, they don't have enough size.
Well, they have to play one of them.
Yeah. I don't think they can beat Oklahoma City at all. But they do have a lot of firepower, especially when Luka gets hot. You can never tell. I think they're weak on the defensive end because I think Luka and James are not that good defensively, even though you see no difference in players playing defense. I think those two are definitely going to be liabilities. But they might be able to outscore you anyway, especially Luka.
Well,
inside, I think they're weak.
I don't like to waste time. Not waste time. I'm not that huge of a LeBron fan. Those years when he was winning all defensive teams, come on, man, people. But they said the same thing about Michael Jordan over there. They said he really wasn't that great a defensive player. The press was just hyping him up. So, 2 questions, a 2-part question. Do you think he can play defense, or do you think that Michael Jordan was overrated with his defensive skills when they were rating him?
So the second question I'll take first. No, I think Michael Jordan was very good when he was in his 20s.
First team all defensive,
yes,
every year.
Yes. When he was about, well, I'm going to say when he was about 25, 26 up to about 30, 31. Yes.
Do you think LeBron should have made as many defensive teams that he made?
I don't know how many he made. I know at one point he was very good. I remember him playing against Chicago when Derrick Rose was the MVP, and they played against him in the playoffs, and he literally took him out of the game. Okay. And when you think of the size difference, he's 6'8", and he was guarding a smaller, quicker guy. He literally took him out of the game. Okay. But LeBron is 40 now. Okay.
I'm talking about when he was winning. Do you think he should have won?
Some of the years I thought so. I don't know how many years he won, but when he was in his mid-20s, he was pretty athletic, very very agile, very fast.
Well, he's always been a great athlete, but to me, LeBron may track your shot down and block it full court or something. He may do something like that, or in the instance he may shut down the Chicago guard. But there are 82 seasons in the game. We're just picking our highlights of what we remember.
No, I'm talking about during that time. I thought he could guard people one-on-one, and I definitely thought Michael Jordan could.
Okay, all right.
I thought he would take on anybody. He would usually take on the other team's top scorer.
I think they both were overrated defensively myself.
Well, you don't think anyone plays defense, so
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm gonna have to point some stuff out to the sports doctor.
Everybody can have a good game defensively. Everybody can have a good game offensively.
No, I'm not just talking about one game. I'm talking about the majority of the games when they go against people, what they do, how hard the people have to work. Just like I think the guy in Boston, Holiday, is a good defensive player. You can't see that. I don't know what's wrong with the sports doctor there.
He's overrated, man. And the other boy is overrated. They talk about so great defensively.
You talking about White?
And this is not because I hate Boston either. I'm just saying in general. See, I try not to let my personal feelings affect my decisions on whether they can play or not. Of course,
Really,
sometimes
really.
that's right. I know. I know.
And I think White, Holiday, and Brown are excellent defensive players. I think they can switch off and guard any of them can guard anybody that the other one's guarding, especially on the perimeter. And Tatum is not bad either. He's just not as agile as those three.
Right.
Porzingis a little different if he got to stay with somebody one-on-one.
Yeah, that's why we have these shows. So everyone has a different opinion, and I'm going to always respect your opinion, Mr. April. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with you for a half an hour. But Derek White overrated too. Maybe I. Well, see, this is one thing I have a problem about debate shows.
Okay.
When I was on the show with you guys on Real Fellas. Is it necessary for someone who speaks to say, in my opinion, or is it obvious that's just an opinion because that's what the person said?
Well, this is, most of the time this is an opinion show. So it's obvious to me.
So it's not necessary to say that, right? That's what I was
Right.
thinking.
Yeah.
I would always struggle on whether to add those words because obviously that's my opinion because that's what I'm saying. All right. Yeah, Derek White overrated.
Especially if you're just stating your opinion, is obvious. If you're presenting some facts, then the facts will speak for themselves. So you don't have to say it's my opinion. Say, for instance, if we were talking about whether someone like Andrew Toney shot too much,
yeah,
someone presented you with facts and says, "Well, he's taking 15 shots a game."
Well,
so
yeah,
if
it's those facts out the window.
Okay, but those are facts. So that's not someone's opinion to say that. No, it's your opinion of whether or not 15 shots is too many for him to be taking. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an inside joke that Earl and I have between us. So I have to sometimes when I present him with facts, he still wants to force his opinion on it.
No, I ain't forcing my opinion. I'm going to express my opinion. I'm not going to force it on no.
Okay, real subtle distinction there. Okay, Hey, let's talk about a little football, man. There's Sharice. Hey, Sharice, how you doing?
Hey, Sharice, what's up?
Quarterback for the Rams, Matthew Stafford. They're talking about him leaving the Rams. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that on the show, but because I don't know why. Why? Because they don't want to pay him?
Well, I think that's it. He's 37 years old, which is, to be 37 again, But in the NFL, that's kind of old, and I think he's looking for a big payday. I think he's only making about $25 million.
He's only making $27 million. Come on. He needs to get paid more money. You know better than that. Well, look at the clowns' salaries that these clowns are getting out here. They're nowhere near Matthew Stafford.
I think he has a right to ask for it, but so you're going to give him a long-term contract when most people don't play through 40?
Can't give him a long-term contract because he's 37 years old.
Well, he's looking for like 2 or 3 years. You give him 3 years?
I might could give him 3 years, depending on if they upgrade their offensive line and keep him safe back there. The problem right now, it seems like offensive lines, a whole lot of offensive lines are very shoddy right now. That seems like the weakest part of all the teams in the NFL, the offensive line. Because a lot of these people have horrible offensive lines. But I don't know.
They are what they are. But a lot of it is going to be other money that they're spending on people. I know they told Cooper Kupp to look for a different deal. So maybe they are trying to save some money for him because they told Cooper Kupp wants to be paid. If he doesn't go to Los Angeles, where do you think he'll fit?
Who, Cooper Kupp?
No, quarterback, Stafford.
Oh, I have no idea. It's hard for a 37-year-old to go out here and look for these a big contract. I wish the Jets had thought about that before they paid Aaron Rodgers all that money. He's
Well,
old.
you know,
He's old.
well, and I'll even say he just hasn't played well. That's the thing. I think people pay for old people that can play well. And it's kind of like you're doing actuarially work, you know. How long is this person going to be able to play? Do you think Pittsburgh might sign him? They have a great defense. It seems like to me.
Again, it's still Pittsburgh. They have no.
That's been their problem. They haven't had a decent
But
quarterback.
at the present time, they've had no future. No team with no promise. I mean, why
You don't think the quarterback makes a difference? You don't think the quarterback will make a difference? I mean, their defense has played very well the last few years.
Stafford's not going to make a difference. The Steelers don't have anybody. Of course, they need a quarterback because the two quarterbacks are bum, Field and Wilson. I'm not going to say bum. They're not that great. Okay, let me be careful. Steelers don't have any offense. They don't have no wide receiver. They got one who got attitude problems, and he don't play as well as he thinks he does to be having those kind of problems that he has. They don't have nothing. They don't have no running back.
Yeah, they let Najee Harris. I think they're letting them go.
Who?
Still is Najee Harris, they're starting running back. I think they're letting them go. I heard there's a lot of running backs in the college draft. I don't really follow it that closely to verify one.
Man, if these NFL teams don't shore up their offensive line, I don't care who they got running, throwing, or whatever. They're not going to do nothing. Like, you want to ask somebody, ask Mr. Mahomes. You got to have some blocking, man. Steelers ain't going nowhere. Steelers heyday's over with, man. That was years ago.
Well, I'm just trying to find a home for Stafford. That seemed like that wasn't that ridiculous, at least in my opinion. That wasn't that ridiculous a place because I'm not sure where he's going to get the money.
He's not going to play over 3 years for sure. Effective.
Okay.
All
But
right. I'm not
you need
paying
to go to a team that needs a quarterback.
I'm not paying him $40 million. I'm not paying him that.
Didn't you just say he deserves to get that type of money?
He does, but I'm not paying him that.
I didn't think you were an owner of a team, but don't you think some other team might?
Do I think he should get some money?
Well, I mean, do you think he has the leverage to get it?
How do they have him right now at $27 million a year anyway? What was he making 2 years ago? What kind of deal did they sign him to?
I don't know.
This
You know,
guy's
some
a Super Bowl
contracts-
quarterback. He's a Super Bowl quarterback, and he's
Yeah.
only making $27 million. I don't understand.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know how long it was, and sometimes they front load them because they play their salary cap numbers. They front load them when they know they'll pay him a lot of money up front, and then it kind of decreases as it goes.
He only has 40. I don't know. He don't have that much left with his guaranteed money. That's the problem. You know, he doesn't have that much left on his.
Yeah, I think he's a free agent now. And see, I don't think the team is going to franchise him because they'd have to pay him
$40 million.
right. So if he's good, I think they'll probably tell him to go out and see what you can get on the market, and then they may just decide to offer it to him.
By the time the Steelers get some players where they could win if they did have Matthew Stafford, he's 41 years old.
So you don't
Why
think
would
the
you spend that kind of money and you don't have any? He doesn't even have anybody to compliment or help on his team. If he had a running back, a good offensive line, you could get a receiver from somewhere to compliment Pickett. I might would give him for it, but he don't even have anybody to help.
So does Stafford have any leverage at all?
No.
Okay.
We'll never do that. If he's a free agent, he does. No.
I'm trying to figure out.
You can find some sucker owner or general manager and say, "Oh, this is Stafford. He won a Super Bowl. Let's get him." There's always some dumb people out there. Somebody know what they
The
do.
reason I mentioned Pittsburgh, I think he would be an upgraded quarterback for them, and they have a pretty decent team.
Okay,
But-
let me ask you this.
All right,
Who's going to throw to besides George Pickett?
I'm not as familiar with their wide receivers.
I am. You're trash.
Okay, let me put it this way: who, if you took Jaden Daniels off of Washington's team, and Pittsburgh didn't have a quarterback, which team do you think would be the best team? Washington without Jaden Daniels and Pittsburgh without their quarterbacks. Who has the best starting position?
Overall on the team?
Yeah, between Washington and before Washington got Jaden Daniels, don't you think Pittsburgh had a better team than them?
I don't think either one of them teams are really that strong.
Okay, let's put it this way. Pittsburgh hasn't had a losing season in 17 years. Washington won 4 games last year. These are just some facts I'm putting out there. So when I throw that out there, Pittsburgh has won like 10 games every year. Washington won 4. I thought Pittsburgh has been better than them. Washington gets a quarterback, upgrades a quarterback. Not saying Stafford is as good as Jaden Daniels. I'm not saying that. But Washington upgrades a quarterback, their team improves. They win 12 games. Can't they win a couple of more games with a better quarterback in Pittsburgh? I can't guarantee the Super Bowl, but I think Pittsburgh upgrades a quarterback if they get him. He's better than Fields and
Pittsburgh started off good this year, and they had a chance to go to the playoffs and everything. In the end, lack of offense, they just dwelled down to nothing. They don't have anybody, right?
I think their biggest problem is quarterback. I think that's their big problem. I think they could produce. But anyway, we'll move on from that. Hey, it was something else I was going to
All right, let me ask you this, Larry. Who right now, name some of your top quarterbacks. You know, name some of your quarterbacks you think are good. No matter what team they're on, what quarterback you think is pretty good?
Lamar Jackson, Mahomes.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think Pittsburgh would be better if they had Lamar Jackson?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
I think they'd be better if they had Jaden Daniels.
he's a good player. Jaden Daniels is a good player. I see what you're saying. I don't know. I don't want to say nothing stupid. The show's been going pretty good.
But we value your opinion because you're a sports doctor.
I'll just leave that at that. I just don't think Pittsburgh's nothing. It's nothing.
But remember, the whole genesis of this question was where would be a good fit for a better fit for or a good fit for Stafford. I was trying to think of a team that would, because if he doesn't have any other suitors, he's not going to get any money. All right. I got to think it might be some teams that might roll the dice with him. And Pittsburgh popped in mind.
They're going to be paying people that want to pay him $27 million.
Well, he's probably going to want more than that. And what other teams do you think he could go to then? I know we're off season with football, but that's the team that popped into my mind. I guess the New York Giants need a quarterback too, right? But they're really in trouble. But I was thinking of a team that was, makes the playoffs, has a winning team, and they just can't get any further because they're weak at that position.
I hear you.
Pittsburgh seemed to be a logical fit to me. That's why I threw it out there with you. I can't think of anybody else that's, has had like a winning team and, where he might push them over the hump. Most of the teams that win have good quarterbacks.
Yeah. I don't think much of Pittsburgh. So.
Okay.
To answer your question, I don't think there's a good fit out there for him. Only because of not because he's getting old and he can't play. He's still very productive. I just think there's not a fit. The salary is too much. His salary is not too much. He needs money. He paid more money. But I can't give him 40 million. And like you said, I'm not an owner. I don't see too many owners giving him 40 million. But there, as I said, there's suckers born every day in the NFL. So some sucker owner will get him and say,
But wait a minute. So if he's worth 40 million, I mean, why does it have to be a sucker to give it to him?
the guy is 37 years old. He's only gonna be good for 3 years. I'm not paying this guy $40 million for the next 3 years a year. A lot of money. You can get some. No, you can't get nobody on the draft as talented as Stafford. Can't do that. He's in a messed up situation as far as I'm concerned.
See, to me, Pittsburgh is the only. I was looking at the standings earlier today. That's the only team that I thought was kind of on the cusp of being a decent team that needs a better quarterback. You know, most of the other teams have quarterbacks that are a little better. The other team that could use a good quarterback is one other team, but I don't know if they'll do it. Minnesota Vikings. I think they're going to move on from Sam Darnold, and they have a good.
Wait a minute. Wait, why would they get? Oh,
Well,
okay. They can bring him in and back up with the Knicks, but then you still paying $40 million for a backup quarterback?
Well, I wouldn't bring him in to be a backup, but that's the other. That's the other.
It's gonna keep Knicks on the bench another year.
Is that who the rookie they had was? That was Knicks.
Yeah,
I couldn't even remember the rookie's name.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, we could have competition. Whoever wins, it's not. No, I mean, when I was that was another team that I thought did well. They're not going to go with the quarterback that they had last year.
Right.
Is it Ricks or is it a guy named McCarthy or something? Knicks plays for Minnesota has a guy named J.J. McCarthy. I think
Yeah, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
Knicks plays for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, that's what threw me for a second.
And
So-
Larry, you moderate the show. And you always do a great job. But I'm going to suggest that we move on. I think we spend too much time talking about the sorry ass Pittsburgh Steelers. We spend
No. I'm asking, what about is Minnesota a possibility? They're getting rid of the guy that they won 14 games with Sam Darnold. They're
No, they're gonna play McCarthy. They're gonna play McCarthy.
Okay.
They don't need to spend no extra money on Stafford like that.
But as good as their team is, if Stafford plays well, don't you think he can get them over the hump? They got what you don't see in Pittsburgh. My point is they got it in Minnesota. They got plenty of offensive weapons up there.
They ain't got no running back. You know they're running back.
They got receivers up there.
They do have receivers.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I would be very.
I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to help him get paid someplace. I see him going somewhere with a team that has a winning record. You know, that needs a quarterback.
I hear you. He won a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he's kind of we kind of know what he can do too, as opposed to McCarthy is on potential.
Exactly.
All right, we'll let it go. You know, I'm hearing you say he should get paid. I'm trying to find a home for him. You're pushing back on me. Maybe he can't find a home.
I don't understand how this guy, when they traded him, he had to be making more than $27 million.
Again, they may have front loaded his contract. They may have given him a lot of money.
I think they did, as you said.
Yeah.
They keep saying he only has a certain amount of money left on his guaranteed money. So,
Yeah, a lot of times they front load their contract.
so if you're the Washington Commanders, do you try to go get a wide receiver from San Francisco? What's his name?
Deebo Samuel.
Do you try to go get Deebo Samuel? Do you try to get Higgins? What's your first draft pick for coming out from the Washington Commanders?
Well, as far as free agents, I guess I would think about Higgins because Samuel's 49ers they're going to want compensation for him. they're gonna want you to trade some people for him. So if I could sign Higgins, I'd probably take him. I think he's a little younger and a little less banged up. But I wouldn't close the door on Samuels. I think he's still a pretty decent player.
Been hurt been hurt every year the last 4 years.
Well, that's the problem. That's why I said he's a little more banged up than Higgins has been hurt too, but Higgins has made it. He made it through last year.
If you're Cincinnati, do you try to sign Higgins and DeMarcus?
It depends on the salary cap. I heard they were going to offer Chase the big contract, so I don't know if they can pay Higgins. That's the whole thing. I don't know if they can do it.
No,
they're already paying their quarterback.
Would you, not him. Cincinnati ain't paying no money to nobody. They're
paying their quarterback money, and they're getting ready. And their owners just said he's going to make Chase the highest paid non-quarterback. I saw that today. So it seems like they've made a call right there. The big problem is
he giving lip service. This guy ain't never paid no money to nobody since you and I have been watching sports.
Well, they've got a reputation for that. But it depends on if I would do it if I could. I would like to sign both of them. No, they're already paying the quarterback an arm and a leg, and if they're going to make Chase the highest paid non-quarterback, whatever figure that is, I don't know what that number looks like. But if that's a big number, you still got to pay the other 50-some guys.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard when their cap is a real hard cap in football, so it's kind of. My goal would be to sign both of them. I mean, that would be my goal if I had the money available.
Okay, you got open pop owner said, Larry, I want you to run this team. You got an open. My wallet is open to you. What is your first pick for the Washington Commanders? Is it going to be an offensive lineman? Is it going to be a defensive lineman? Is it going to be another wide receiver? Or is it going to be a legitimate running back? What would you do if you were running the Washington Commanders?
I would really look for who I thought was the best player available at either defensive lineman or offensive lineman.
Okay. All right.
I can take a lot of those pictures. I when I look at their weak spots, I mean they have a lot of gaps there, but I don't think their receivers cost them any games. And really to tell you the truth, the offensive line really didn't cost them a lot of games. What my problem with them was their defense because they couldn't get pressure on people. But I could always use another offensive lineman. But offensive lineman or defensive lineman, I look for the best player at those two positions. I would mind having T. Higgins.
I would get as many offensive linemen as I can because Jaden Daniels has to be protected. I'm not doing anything but building up that offensive line.
Well, I thought their passing game was good. What fell off toward the end was their running game. Now, and I looked at when they played Detroit, they ran on them. They just couldn't run against Philly, but maybe nobody runs against Philly. And Philly didn't sack Daniels like they did Mahomes when they played them. And they played him 3 times.
They pressured him.
But they played him 3 times and they didn't get him like they got Mahomes. I mean, Washington, the last game they lost to Philly was because of turnovers, and it really wasn't. Couldn't blame the line for none of those.
Mahomes is not as elusive as Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, but they certainly beat up Kansas City's line worse than they did Washington's. The reason I say defensive linemen, I think if they didn't have a lot of success in some games getting pressure on the quarterback, even though some games they did okay, but they couldn't consistently do it week after week. So I think at least one real good defensive lineman could change, that helps your secondary and everything. So I like Myles Garrett.
Oh yeah. Everybody likes him. So okay. All right.
But one of those two positions, either one is fine. That would be, you asked what would be my first choice. best player at any of the position. I mean, they could use another a wide receiver, like you said. But when I look at what could help the most immediate, I think it's one of those two linemen.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I try to be reasonable here, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of holes. Manny's got a lot of work to do. But they have that special quarterback, so.
Well, right now they got the quarterback on a rookie deal, where I think he's making $8 million or something like that. But some of the other free agents, they signed a bunch of free agents this year, and I don't know if they're going to bring all of them back. I mean, somebody like Ertz that played pretty well for them, Luvu that played well, Bobby Wagner, all of them are on one-year deals. And all of those guys contributed significantly.
Yeah.
And someone may offer some of them more money. And if that's what motivates them, they'll be gone.
Yeah. Well, besides number 17 and Jay Daniel, the Redskins don't have anyone on the team that they have to keep. So that's not a problem. You don't want to pay what we can pay you. All right, we'll just move on because they're not that good. They're not that good. Commanders are horrible, man. Come on.
They are not horrible.
Okay.
I know that's your opinion, but I will point to some facts. I'll show you what their record was: 12-5. They were not horrible. Even a sports doctor might, admit that. When I show you,
horrible, man. Can't rush the passer. Can't stop the run.
They finished.
We got one wide receiver. They don't have a legitimate running back.
They finished 12-5 this year.
I'm just telling you that.
How does that equal horrible?
Anybody can get lucky.
12-5 is more than luck. They've had some luck, no doubt about it. But 12-5, come on, man. I'm just throwing their record out there.
Well,
if 12-5 is horrible, the rest of the league is in trouble, right?
the league, and you remember all during the year, I was telling you the football teams aren't that good this year. None of the football teams are good this year. All teams are weak, man.
In the NFC, they had the fourth best record. They had a better record than two divisional winners.
So when you 12-5, you got you got 4 wins automatically with playing the Giants and Cowboys, and they didn't even beat them both times they played them.
Kung Fu, what's up, buddy?
Kung Fu, what's up, Kung Fu? Yeah, shoot. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know how that equals horrible.
I'm having a good time today. I just think we spent too much time on sorry ass Redskins and the Commanders and the Steelers.
Yeah, you put the Commanders up, and I really wasn't talking about the Steelers. I was more talking about finding a home for Stafford. I was trying to be engaging with you. So I gave you 2 possible destinations, and you were really saying he should be paid, but you wouldn't pay him. That left me and maybe some of our listeners a little confused. He should be paid, but you wouldn't pay him. Even though you admitted that you didn't have a team, so that might be part of your rationale right there.
Yeah, well,
What's the next item on your agenda?
What else I want to talk about today? That may be it.
That is it, see?
Yeah. All right. Let's see what other sports stuff I had to talk about.
All right, Kung Fu. Kung Fu.
We didn't talk about the women's college NCAA.
Well, let's talk about it then. I think South Carolina bounced back and won a pretty impressive game this week after suffering losses the last 2 Sundays. But it's a lot of good talent out there. Oh, my goodness. Texas is good. LSU, UConn, they're winning to South Carolina and whipped them pretty badly. I'm really looking forward to the tournament. I think the women's tournament in particular. A lot of good teams, a lot of good players. I can't even wait for it. Who do you think is coming out of there with the title? And Notre Dame lost. They lost this week. Their winning streak was over.
NC State beat them. It was a great game.
Yeah, last night or the night before.
Yeah. Answer your question, who do I think? I have no idea, Larry. I have no idea. So close. They got a lot of good teams. I did tell you the other day I'm enjoying the NCAA women's college basketball. I'm enjoying watching the women more than I'm enjoying watching the men, for sure.
Oh, I think they have established good teams. One big thing is that their players stay there for 4 years, and I think that's a big plus right there. They mature together. You get to know the teams, and they get used to playing with each other. On the men's side, there's so many guys that come and play 1 year, then we never hear from them. They don't make the pros. Most of them don't. They leave after 1 year and they just sort of disappear.
Okay. Now, you've been around me most of your life, and as you just said a few minutes ago, I say some things that make people confused. Okay. Are you confused when I tell you Cooper Flagg is overrated? And if so, maybe you can tell me what it is that I'm missing with Cooper Flagg. Or if I just happen to see him every time I see him, he was just off. What is it? I mean, they're talking about this guy like all over the place. And tell me what I'm missing, Larry.
I mean, you're certainly entitled to your opinion. I think he's pretty good. You know, I don't know if he's the greatest player ever, but I think he's pretty good. He's certainly, from what I see, he's one of the best players in college basketball.
Kung Fu, what's up with Cooper Flagg? Is he great or is he overrated? If you're still on the show, Kung Fu, chime in on me.
Well, who is great on the men's side? You know, Rutgers has a couple of guys that are pretty good.
I saw one guy we didn't see the other day. He was hurt. He didn't play or whatever. But
yeah, he was sick. Ron Harper's son.
Yeah, he looked all right. You know. Sometimes I like the boy. One of the guys from Auburn, but then sometimes I don't. I don't think there are many. I don't think there are any good players coming out of the NCAA this year. No, he ain't lying. I'm probably wrong about Cooper Flagg because everybody and their mama talks about him, so I could just be wrong. It could be some inside thing with me that I don't realize what it is.
He's a very good player, and he probably has a lot of upside to his career because he left high school a year early.
Well, they're talking about he's coming out next year. I don't think so. All right, come on.
You heard it from Kung Fu.
Well, he still ain't telling me nothing different. What's May? He May. What I mean, he is all he wants. What are you talking about, May? Come on. He May. So I'm going to take it that Kung Fu likes him, and that's still answering my question. So let me give him a break. All right.
Yeah, I don't know whether he likes him or not, but I think he offered his opinion that he's got a lot of upside.
We'll see. So, who do you think? What ladies team you think is coming out of going to win the tournament, Larry?
The women's tournament?
Uh-huh.
Whoa, I don't know. Connecticut looks very good. If they can be healthy. With Paige and the woman that's from DC, Fudd. Yeah. When they played South Carolina, they looked very, very good. And I found out that both of them have been hurt so much in the last few years, they've had very little court time together, but they look very good.
Okay. All right.
And I can't discount Texas because I saw Texas beat South Carolina and LSU in successive weeks.
Right. Good.
And I guess I'm adding more teams. South Carolina, I'm not going to count them out either.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Larry. What are your thoughts on about the Dodgers buying up everybody? Do you think it's fair, or it's fair if they got the money? Or, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, they're just buying up everybody.
I think it's fair. What the heck? Why not? You know, the thing about it, they've been doing that for years, but they only won one World Series in recent memory. And the team that's complaining about it, the Yankees, they try to do the same thing. I guess Los Angeles has a bigger bank than they do, and they haven't won a World Series. I mean, it's been a while since either one of those teams actually won.
Okay. So,
but if I would like my team to do stuff like that. Before the NFL had a salary cap, Washington was doing that in football here. It worked pretty well for me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm getting old. I just had a question that I was going to ask you. Was a good question too.
Sorry, man. I went too long. I guess I should have said it doesn't matter to me what they spend, as long as the people they spend it on work out well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what we'll see.
Sorry,
so last year, if Detroit is healthy, are they your favorites to win it all in the NFL next year? They had an abundance of key injuries, and I thought they were pretty good. Do you look at them as your favorite next year if everyone is healthy?
If they bring let's say if they bring most of their team back and Philadelphia brings most of their team back, I'm still gonna go with Philadelphia. I like Philadelphia. I wanted to see that matchup really until Washington beat Detroit. I mean, even when Washington faced Detroit, I'm such a homer, I'll go with Washington. But I was kind of looking forward to that matchup, just like in the AFC. I was looking forward to Baltimore and Kansas City, which never happened either.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got today, Larry.
All right, man. Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate your time. Earl and I have these arguments all the time, playfully, and it's nice to do it in front of other people.
Yeah.
But we've been friends for so long, so it's all in good humor with us.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week, 7:00.
Don't forget you can catch Larry tomorrow at 7 p.m. with David Burnett, and they have a special guest. Chuck is in Indiana this week, so he won't be on the show. So check them out tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Real Fellas Talk Sports.
Thanks for the feedback, Phyllis. We appreciate it.
Good. Thanks, Phyllis.
All right. Take care, everyone.